Greetings, theists and non-theists. I'm the Atheist Paladin. I'm gonna do a book review of Sam Harris's Moral Landscape. I just finished reading it on my Kindle, and I got a few things to say about it. First thing, if you have a Kindle, it's gonna end at 50%. Because after the 5th chapter, it's all his notes and stuff like that. So, really, I thought I was just getting into it, and nope, that was it. It was over. Another thing is that I noticed is that none of it is original, in that you could see a lot of his major arguments and his general idea of his book through the Beyond Belief discussions in 2008 and his recent videos of him promoting his book. But beyond that, he is just a little more thorough, but you'll be very familiar with what he's going to present when you read the book. Overall, I think the argument is promising, but it lacks so much. For one thing, I find that his idea of reducing human morality just to human well-being and using brain states in order to define that is overly reductionistic. I know he does make an argument that sometimes psychology can't tell if, when he cites the people intentionally fooling psychology, and they couldn't tell who was faking it and who was not. All well and good, but I still don't think you need to break out the MRI machine every time. Well, does that make somebody happy? It's either going to be intuitively known, or it could be discovered by simple, psychology. Reducing everything to brain states is just, I think, a little nitpicky. Further, I think there are some other things that could be added, such as, does something unnecessarily restrict somebody's autonomy, or is a particular action empathetic or not? I think these are also things that ought to be considered when talking about morality. He may say, well, these may relate to human well-being and wellness. Yeah, of course they're related in some measure, but I think they're a worthy means to an end sometimes themselves. But there are also times when they conflict. I mean, you don't want someone their complete autonomy, because take for instance a drug intervention. Sometimes people go over the edge and saying, well, just wiping your hands and saying, well, that's what they want, is not always the moral thing to do. Sometimes it's the moral thing to do to chase their ass down and dry their ass out. And other times it's perfectly okay when it comes to maybe smoking or drinking. Yeah, those things have been documented to ruin somebody's health for a long period, but someone's still perfectly right in their ability to choose to do such things. So I know Sam tried to make it in such a way that it almost seemed too black and white. I know that was not his intent, and he also discussed that there could be, multiple peaks on his landscape and all that. All well and good. But he also made some statements that I just could not agree with, such as if there was a God that made a heaven or hell sort of scenario, then the moral landscape would only change just slightly to reflect that sort of eternal outcome. But I wouldn't agree to it. Regardless of if God rewards ignorance and punishes free thought or something like that, screw that God. My moral landscape is still just the same, despite his eternal threats of punishment. And so I know I bring basically with this objection I bring in ideas of virtue and duty when making this objection. But that's what makes the discussion of ethics not so easy. There's always more than one way to view something, and so that's why I can't fully support Sam Harris. Promising in some areas, and the one area I found interesting and belief when I read that chapter, I thought a lot of things came crystal clear. So I might be discussing that in a later video, and that's about it. Worthwhile lead, but if you've seen the videos and you just want to know the general argument, just go watch the videos and be done with that. You don't have to spend any money on a book. But if you want to, if you're somebody like me who's a philosophy buff or likes to talk about morality and ethics, and maybe the book is something for you to have on your bookshelf, just as just something different. And with that, I think I'm done. I think I said all I need to say. So peace. Take care.